In this video, I interview Alena and Joe from Mazelee, a cinematic vlog channel, and we talk about how to learn from your failures so that you can turn them into success on YouTube, how to vary your content format for channel growth, and how to stay inspired and creative when you're feeling blocked. Coming up. Hey, what's up guys? Sean here with Video Influencers. Help you build your influence, income, and impact with online video. And I'm pumped to be sitting here with Alena and Joe from Mazelee, a cinevlog, a cinematic vlogging channel. How's it going, guys?
Good.
Great.
Yeah, good to be here.
Awesome. We're at ClamorCon, super cool event. We're talking all about really how to, grow your vlog channel. A lot of cool topics in this video, but let's start off with your background. When did you post your first video and what is your channel all about?
We posted our first video about 2 years ago, seriously. And when I say seriously, it was literally like me just going around with the camera around in my house and just talking about whatever was happening at the moment. I knew I wanted to make YouTube videos, and I felt like if I could just make one, then that could spur me to make another one and another one. So that's how we did it for the first one.
Yeah, so my background is like photography. So I came from like photojournalism, street photography, documentary work. So like my ideas were all coming from pictures. But once I was with Alena, everything just kind of turned into video, capturing moments of the family, and then we kind of synergized into making it into something different.
Yeah.
I love that. And you're approaching 200,000 subscribers. What has been the growth progression along the way, and what are some of the things that you probably attribute to how you've grown your channel?
I think at first we grew I think at first we grew fast, actually. Like our first 10,000 was pretty fast. 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, like that's when it kind of became to slow down. But then the one thing that we decided to do was to make it consistent. So we decided to pick 2 days a week and say that we were going to put out videos on that day. And I think once then, it definitely moved a lot faster just when we were just doing it on consistent days.
Yeah. Personally, we started with a cell phone. We recorded on a cell phone, and I didn't really feel any sort of creative way to, record something, because there's composition and different techniques that you can use. But then we got a advanced point and shoot, and that was kind of fun. We could do a couple things with that. But then once we switched over to a full frame mirrorless, and started messing with the depth of field, and I was like, wow, this is just like photography. I can utilize some of the techniques I used, except now I'm recording the entire movement of it instead of just a snapshot. So it just got my creative juices flowing, and I was able to just tap into more creative methods and techniques.
Yeah.
I love that. And I would definitely say, one thing that you definitely got to go check out their channel, because your content is different. It is, as you said, it's cinevlogging, or it's cinematic vlogs, and you bring such a uniqueness to it that you don't see on other channels, and that leads to, I think, growth. It's kind of more entertaining. It's a great storytelling. You guys are great storytellers. So let's kind of talk about format, because I think when someone hears a vlogger, they think about good morning, hey, and just talking to the camera. But you guys do it really entirely different than that. What are your thoughts behind varying your format, and how did you come upon your current style, and how do you decide what different styles? Sometimes you go live, sometimes you have these stories, and we've even talked about different things. You have different formats. What's the thinking and strategy behind that?
Yeah, well, basically, I came up with the idea of to have it be a third person. We're never talking to the camera. It's you're a fly on the wall, and you're just seeing what's going on in people's lives. I saw a lot of vlogs, where you're talking to the people, and it kind of gets a little bit similar each day. And I just wanted to show the reality and the realness of what actually goes on, in that moment, and to capture that. And I knew that he was able to do that. So when I kind of originally started it off and gave him that idea, and once he got the camera he needed, he really took off with capturing those moments.
Yeah, for me, it's just awkward to be in front of the camera and holding the camera. I don't know, it's just an awkward feeling. I'm not used to that type of thing, because I'm always working behind the camera. So when Alena was like, okay, we're going to stop talking to the camera now. We're going to shoot it this way. It felt good. Yeah, I don't know any other way. It just felt natural at that point.
And for varying the content, I think we're always being critical of ourselves, and that's how we get this very content. We're like, okay, we didn't like that, let's implement this. Well, okay, that was okay, but let's put these two things together. And we're constantly trying to get better, just because I think like both of ourselves we're critical of our work, and we're kind of perfectionists, so we just really just kind of keep it going, and that's what makes it exciting to us, trying to put out different stuff. So that's what we do.
Influencers, I love that theme. Constantly trying to get better, get a little bit better all the time, and always take things to another level. I love that. Now, what do you guys do for inspiration, for creativity, and where does that come from for you? Because that's really what's coming out of you. Very creative, and I think that as content creators watching this, that's what we all are. Sometimes we can feel drained. Authors or writers, they get writer's block, right? What do you guys do to get refueled, recharged, and what would you say that are your sources of inspiration?
I would say, because I do like the story, like what the video is going to be about, the storyline, I use either just something that I'm passionate about, so then I don't get bored of it, or just something that's going on in our lives, which I feel like, we've been talking about this a lot. Let's record everything that has to, any times that we're talking about it or things that have to do with it, let's do that. Something that's passionate to me about right then. And I don't really try to think oh, is this a good idea? Is that a good idea? I just go for it, don't hesitate. And then you don't know how it's going to come out, So because we're doing real life scenarios, I just try to go for whatever I feel at that moment.
Yeah, you mentioned burnout, and I think for me, just realizing that the children are growing up and everything is like their first time, this and that, their first time riding a bike, the first time, I don't know, getting a cut on their hand or something like that. And just all those are memories, and being able to capture that on a video and just remembering to just tell myself, okay, so even though I've seen it a lot, or this is just a regular day, this is the first time they're facing this dilemma in their life, and recognizing it's like a documentary story. So it fits in exactly to where I like to do things that way. And then there's times where where you're burnt out, where you just don't even feel like picking up the camera anymore. And at that point, recognizing that, well, we have our three pillars is faith, family, and film. And so our first pillar is faith. So as Christians, we just want to recognize that we're doing this for a higher cause, and just ministering through transparency. So there is, of course, the family aspect that gets the most, I guess, attention. And then the faith is kind of like the underlying blanket. And then, of course, visually, the filming aspect is another visual tick, I guess, that people come to watch. So, well,
another good thing is that we're two people. So when one person doesn't feel like doing it, the other one can kind of come on now, you know. So we can piggyback off of each other's moods and pull each other up, when someone else is feeling like that. So that's a really positive thing for us.
Yeah, and because it's like a documentary style, that in itself is a video right there.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love, you talk about your faith and as a source of inspiration, kind of getting back into that. You talk about, of course, family. I love from a child's perspective, thinking that they're seeing it for the first time. And when you tap into those things, you kind of get refreshed, you get fresh eyes, or just leaning on somebody else, having a tip to lean on someone else. That teamwork makes the dream work, we say a lot. And when you've got somebody else, then when you're not feeling it, maybe they are, and that helps you grind. So there's some great tips on kind of dealing with creative block, writer's block. I love that. So are you ready for the lightning round?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah. Oh, lightning.
Whoa. Lightning round. 3, 2, 1. Favorite TV show?
Oh, I don't watch TV.
I mean, no Netflix, zero TV.
Okay, The Outer Limits.
The Outer Limits. First celebrity crush?
I don't have one of those either.
I don't think I have one of those either.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Cat. Oh,
Dog.
cat.
Disagreement in the marriage.
That's why we don't have a cat or a dog. Yeah.
Favorite social network besides YouTube?
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Coffee.
Chai tea.
Coffee.
No, chai tea.
Man, disagreement again. Marriage counts. Just kidding. What is one book every influencer watching should read?
Oh, that's really difficult.
I would say How to Find Your Talent. Also, there's another book before that. It was How to Find Your Element.
Finding Your Element. Finding Your Element.
Finding Your Element. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Awesome. That sounds awesome. We'll link it up in the description below. What is one of your favorite documentaries or movies?
Gosh,
Movie. Okay, I would say movie. It has to be Inception. Documentary. I love so many of them. It goes in phase. I can't even think of one right now. The Cove was a really good one.
You're asking me entertainment questions, but I don't watch entertainment like that.
Yeah, no movie.
I watch movies and documentaries, but I don't have any type of favorites.
No favorite. What is your hidden talent?
Math, I guess. Yeah, math.
Nice. It's not my talent.
Mine's not necessarily hidden, but I guess it just hasn't really been tapped into or shown a lot. Maybe dance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. What is your one of your no-miss morning rituals? Something you do most mornings or every morning?
Man, these are like
It's like questions
such.
that you really don't have an answer.
You gotta pee. Yeah.
Every morning. Facts.
Yeah.
If you don't, it's not good for you.
Yeah.
I think every morning I usually make a green smoothie. Yeah.
Nice. So do we. Benji and Sean approved decision. Green juice addicts on this channel.
Bam!
If you could give a TED Talk, what topic would it be on?
Oh, mine would definitely be on women in math. Definitely.
I'd be the one recording that talk.
My talk?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I love it. Has there been a failure or a setback in your life that you look back on that you realize kind of helped you actually get to success later in life? And do you have maybe a favorite failure?
Oh, I have a favorite failure, and this has to do with my math part. But I failed calculus 3 times when I was trying to be a mathematician. So, and the third time, I think I had an attitude like, oh yeah, I'm so good at math, I don't have to study for this. The first time I was like, I don't have to study, I'll just do it another time. I don't have to study. The third time when I failed calculus, I was like, okay, I need to study. And that just showed me like I just can't think naturally without like studying and doing hard work that you're gonna succeed. It still takes, even if you have a natural talent, it still takes a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication to succeed in it.
Yeah, that's a great lesson.
Yeah. For me, I used to do martial arts for like a very, very long time. So when I first got my black belt, I entered into like some tournaments, and I didn't realize who I was fighting at the time in a sparring match. And my coach told me, okay, get ready because this dude is good. And I was like, okay, well, he's like a head shorter than me, but I didn't realize that he was like a 3rd or 4th degree. That means there's like, light years of more experience than just someone who just got their black belt. So I got whooped so bad that that I still remember what it felt like to get hit at that time. I was like, only like 12, 13 years old. No, I didn't cry, but like I think at some point I actually ran out of the ring like once or twice. But at that moment I realized that like, wow, like once you achieve this, you're actually just starting, almost like finishing college or finishing high school. You're back at the beginning all over again.
Wow, powerful.
The universe is just so huge. So then after that, I just got so much better. Yeah.
I love that. Forever a beginner. That's awesome, and lifelong learning. Knowing now, if you were to speak to your 18-year-old selves, what advice would you give, to them, knowing what you know now then?
I would definitely say then like to expand my options and things that I'm interested in. Don't be afraid to do and try multiple things that you want to go for, and don't let anybody else try to tell you like your worth. Know your own worth and make your own stuff happen for your own self. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would have to say just when you're gonna do something, do it to the max. Do it as best as you can, and then +1 that.
I love that. +1. Is there a quote that you kind of like to live your lives by, or maybe a quote you think about often?
I guess we don't really think about these quotes often.
I mean, I live my life by Bible verse for trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean out unto your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he will direct your path. And I used that quote when I was first pregnant at like 18 with a baby, and I didn't know what to do. And I'm just like, I don't know what my future is going to look like. You know, if I try to make a decision based on what I want to do right at this moment, that could like completely change what God's plan is for me. And every time I doubt doing something or doing something that may not be the best decision for what I see now, I try to just say what would I have to trust that he's going to lead me to where I'm going to go. And so I have to abide by what he says. And that has helped me a lot, trusting the Lord and lean not into what I think.
Yeah.
Love it. And then lastly, what is your favorite place in the world and why?
Culebra.
Yeah, Culebra. It's a little island east of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's part of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And we went there like at some point, and we just had a great time. The water was beautiful. Yeah. We had no kids, and it's the best time of our life.
Yeah.
I love that. And then lastly, where can guys, everybody watching, influencers watching, check out your stuff? They definitely got to check out your YouTube channel, especially for the inspiration on format, to maybe think about how you could create different formats of content for your channel. But what's the channel, and then what are you guys doing on social? And of course, we'll link everything up in the description below.
Yeah, so our channel is Mazelee. It's just both our last names, Mazelee. That's where we post all of our videos. And we also have an Instagram, both of us, at as.maze and at streakyvoker. We use Twitter, type in Mazelee there, and we're on Snapchat at maze.lee.
Awesome. And just want to, affirm you guys. I've been watching your content, super inspiring. It's even challenging me to think differently about my format and really to plus one some of my stuff, because really you do such great work, such great storytellers. And so thank you for doing that. And thank you for sharing just your heart with the world in your content. Can you give just a final word to influencers watching? It could get discouraging. There's ups and downs, and it can be an emotional roller coaster, this whole video influence thing. So maybe just final words of encouragement for them to keep getting out there and posting their content and sharing it with the world.
Well, I have friends who want to start channels, and they always ask, like, okay, what gear do I need? What should I do here? How should I do this? What website should I go to learn? And all these different variables of how you can learn and absorb things, but actually not actually start anything. So just start with whatever you have laying around, because if you overinvest in something and you realize that you don't really like to do it, or it's not like your thing, then you're gonna learn the hard way. Your pockets are gonna hurt.
I mean, that's always what I say too, just to start to do whatever idea you have, don't hesitate, just implement it. Because one thing I tell Joe all the time is when we're recording, he's like, I don't want to record that. I'm like, record this, record that. He's like, I don't want to record that. I don't want to record that. And I'm like, look, we can record it now, and if we don't want to use it later, we can do that. But if you never even record anything, then you have nothing to even work with,
Yeah.
So definitely don't second guess yourself. You can do that way later after the editing process. You never know what it could turn out to be. Yeah. One of our best videos that we came out with was one that I completely recorded and had no idea what I was doing. He completely edited, and it's one of our favorite videos,
Yeah.
It's called Surgery, so it's really cool.
That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. And influencers, thank you, and continue to build your influence, income, and impact with online video. And we will talk soon.